In the R. Kelly trial, on day three, Anthony Navarro, who worked for R. Kelly, testified the artist created an environment where he called all the shots. The former employee says that Kelly controlled whether visitors at the Chicago area mansion could leave or even order takeout food. The testimony bolstered the government's contention that R. Kelly controlled everything around him and created an environment where girls and women who entered the space faced strict rules that gave them little choice but to submit to the singer's sexual whims. Now, on yesterday, the doctor who treated R. Kelly for herpes said that he would often that he allowed him to see him, but not necessarily treat him. In fact, that when he was initially called to, because R. Kelly was concerned that he had chlamydia, he tested negative for that, but he did test positive for herpes. Several of the women said that R. Kelly knowingly gave them herpes by having sex with them. The testimony from the doctor was quite graphic. He talked about how R. Kelly would call him with lesions, first suggesting that, oh, they happened because he wore leather pants without underwear. No, it's not what happened. It was actually him having a sexually transmitted disease. The doctor said, though, that R. Kelly never paid him, but he did fly the doctor and his wife all around the country to various concerts. What we are seeing in this trial, Brittany, is a lot more than what we saw in his first trial a number of years ago in Chicago. You actually have people, women, who are testifying against R. Kelly. This is not the only trial. It's what he faces cases in two other states, and so if a miracle happens and he gets off in this case, he still has to contend with the other cases. R. Kelly looks like the jig is up. 54 years old. He may be spending the rest of his life behind bars.
Yeah, Roland, I wish we as a society, specifically our community as well, to protect Black victims, protect Black women, and hold our sexual and domestic abusers accountable. This man should have already been behind bars. We knew R. Kelly was a predator decades ago when they were on the corner selling the tape where he peed on that young child. And we ignored it because he had some hit songs, and we love to blame the victim. We love to tell our young girls who are children that they're fast instead of holding these old behind predator men like R. Kelly accountable for trying to flirt, sexually abuse, groom, and rape these young kids. So I hope that this is a wake-up call to our society, because it shouldn't even had to have gone on this long for us to stop victim blaming, because that's why it has gone on for so long. Stop asking women, well, what did you drink and what did you have on? Instead of asking, because the only thing that causes a rapist to rape is being a rapist. And stop having society ask the victim, well, why didn't you leave? Ask the abuser why they're hitting someone, and really do what's right by these victims, because it's absolutely ridiculous. And this man should have been behind bars, but I do think it's inevitable. He's going to end up where he deserves to be.
And again, in each day, we're seeing quite graphic testimony in this trial, Kelly.
Yeah, just something that you said really quickly. He actually tested negative for herpes and tested positive for something else, but he was being treated for herpes, and the doctor concluded based off of his reaction to the treatment that he had herpes, but he did test negative for it. I just wanted to clarify that. It's still all disgusting, but I just wanted to clarify. Either way, like Brittany said, this man needs to be under a jail cell. We knew that he was a predator before the tape. We knew he was a predator when he married Aaliyah, a 15-year-old. We knew when the album that he made with Aaliyah started off with "Age Ain't Nothing But a Number." His handle or nickname was literally the Pied Piper. And if you don't know what a Pied Piper is, it's a older man who plays like some type of flute or piper, and that music lures children to this predator. And he embraced that moniker. We've known for a very long time that R. Kelly is gross. We've known for a very long time that R. Kelly is a child abuser. But the fact that there are still supporters of R. Kelly right now supporting him through this trial is absolutely disgusting to me. And the only question I have for them are, like, how how do you hate yourself this much? How dissociated are you from reality to enable a predator of this magnitude? Because the facts have been out there. He has admitted on in several occasions, interviews and the like, that he has an affinity for children. He's a disgusting man. And for you in 2021 to still support him and go so far as to think that, you know, the system is against him and people are racist and people are, it's gross to me. He needs to be under a jail cell. And yeah.
Let me say this here. First of all, the doctor had been treating R. Kelly since 1994. What he said is that he suspected he had herpes as early, genital herpes as early as 2000 because of the symptoms. The doctor testified there was a lab test that came back negative, but the doctor said the timing of the test is important, and the test itself can at times give false negative results. The doctor said, quote, "I did not conclude that he did not have herpes." McGrath testified in referring to his various medical records. He did say over a period of time that he was treated for herpes 5 times since 2000. That was what the doctor actually testified. Jason, when you look at this case, when you look at again the number of people testifying, what you did not have before, you had a lot of people who did not testify. In fact, in the previous case, the young girl that was seen in the video, first of all, people got to remember, R. Kelly was found not guilty because the jury could not ascertain the age of the girl in the video. But they forced a delay for so long. By the time that she actually testified, she was much older. And so therefore, they could not reconcile that. That's actually what happened in that particular case. This is different. You now actually have former employees testifying against him, women involved testifying against him. And so the prosecution has a lot more ammunition to target R. Kelly.
Yeah, I think that the prosecution is probably going to have a pretty rock solid case. And they're going to have, you know, now the documentaries have been made. I didn't watch the documentaries, but one of the things that I think we, kind of piggybacking off of what Brittany was saying in terms of this being a cultural moment for our people, is that we really need to address, sexual assault and predatory behavior, because it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but R. Kelly was a victim of sexual assault of his sister, if I'm not mistaken. And, I'm sure his sister was probably a victim of someone else. We've got to start to address these issues in our community to cut them off so that we don't have generations and generations of victims and people victimizing other people. R. Kelly is going to be where he deserves, I believe. And I was shocked that he got away with it in the 90s. And I was really shocked with some of the responses that would come on the radio when they would talk about it. People in our community, how they were blaming the victim. I think I read an interview with the victim where she blamed herself. I think that these are cultural, moments where we have to do some teaching and learn so that we don't actually keep this kind of thing going and looking the other way when it's happening. Because, I knew people who said this was a well-known thing in Chicago, that R. Kelly would come by the high school, that they knew that he was, picking up girls at the high school when he was well over age. So this is something that we have to stop looking the other way. And hopefully this will be a teachable moment for the culture.
It was actually R. Kelly's brother who said that the two of them were molested by their older sister. R. Kelly also had said that he was molested by a man when he was around 10 years old. Bottom line is, with all of that, where you're seeing, again, prosecutors lay out a very, very lengthy a lengthy list of evidence in this case, and so we're going to be covering this even further. Let's go back to that Roland Martin unfiltered video in just one moment.
Football bands and one of the best fan experiences in the country. The Cricket BX Swag Challenge kickoff returns to Atlanta on August 28th, along with special guests, College Game Day. Then Alcorn State takes on North Carolina Central with conference bragging rights on the line. Center Park Stadium is the place to be on August 28th. Come tailgate all day before enjoying a primetime matchup on the gridiron. You don't want to miss this. Check out MEACSWAGChallenge.com for more information.
Don't forget, folks, Roland Martin Unfiltered is going to be broadcasting live from Atlanta on Friday and Saturday. Friday will be at the Atlanta Braves Stadium, talking to the presidents of both universities, as well as officials with the SWAC and MEAC. Then on Saturday, we'll be at the Coca-Cola Fan Zone, broadcasting live from that particular afternoon. And then, of course, we'll be live streaming the halftime show and the concert taking place after the game. You can watch it at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And we appreciate it, in partnership with Coca-Cola, of making this happen. See you next week.